And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. And if you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, no worries. We upload all of our episodes daily to our YouTube channel. Just look up Takes by Fans. And then if you just want to listen and not watch, we are on podcasting apps. Spotify is the big one right now, folks. So whether you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. The thing that to remember is the show is called Takes by Fans, and you can find us literally anywhere on the internet. Wherever you go, whatever websites you use, we're most likely there, folks. So Takes by Fans, that is us, and we are live every single day. Alrighty, today is a big old Friday. Coming off of Thursday, we guessed and reacted to all the lines yesterday, and we did a pretty good job, if I'm going to say so. Pretty much, within like a point, half a point in all the games. So well done by us. And we've got some great picks, and we think we are gonna take advantage of take advantage of Vegas this week. We've got great picks. So we'll do our picks, and then we're also going to do the playoff machine. Now, if you guys don't know about this is probably one of my favorite things to do during the NFL season when it comes, close to the end of the regular season, talking about playoffs. So we'll do that. We'll look at the winners that we think are going to win this week and see how it shakes up the playoff picture, and then we'll have kind of an unofficial kind of playoff picture going into week 15 by the end of today. So we'll kind of see how the playoff picture will change based on the outcomes of what we think will happen in week 14. But before we get into all that, we do have a couple of stories to get into. So without further ado, here we go. All right off the rip, the Steelers lose, and they're missing key players, folks, and everybody wants to write off the Steelers team. Once again, can we all relax that the Steelers finally lost 13 weeks into the season? Steelers activate their starting center, so they were without their starting center last week when they lost against Washington. So they activate Marquise Pouncey, their starting center, off of the COVID-19 list. He's missed the last 2 games. Do you think missing your starting center is a pretty big reason why you lost the game? I would say so. Now, who else did they just get back? Their starting running back. Yes, everybody was like, the Steelers couldn't run the ball. Of course they couldn't run the ball. They didn't have their starting running back or starting center because of COVID. Okay, yes, you're probably not going to win that game. So Steelers activate running back James Conner from the COVID-19 list. So the Steelers are not only, still fine. They're still good offensively and defensively. They're getting their starting center and starting running back. Can we all just take a deep breath, folks? This Steelers team is going to be just fine. They're Super Bowl contenders. They're probably going to beat the Bills this week. We picked them in one of our picks this week. The Steelers are fine, folks. Come on. Everybody's writing off the Steelers when they were without their starting center and their starting running back, and they had to play at 5 o'clock on Monday. Come on, folks. Let's be better than that, please. All right. What else do we got? Head coach Doug Peterson just now saying, well, this was at 10:33, but just now saying, tackle Jason Peters will miss the rest of the season. He will have a toe surgery. So this is a huge offensive lineman for the Eagles. He's probably their best offensive lineman, Jason Peters. So with him being out, they're starting a new rookie quarterback this week. I don't know how well they're going to protect him. So Jalen Hurts gonna maybe be scrambling for his life a little bit here. A starting tackle, Jason Peters, out for the Eagles this week. Alrighty, Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones with a hamstring injury. He is not playing this week against the Chargers, and that's kind of good for Falcons. This Falcons offense sputters when Julio Jones, Todd Gurley, and Calvin Ridley all play at the same time. I don't know why. Don't ask me how, but it happens. When only Calvin Ridley starts, this Falcons offense is pretty good, but when they have to try and feed everybody, it gets too entangled, and they usually lose the game. So this is kind of promising if you're a Falcons fan. You'll probably end up winning this week, honestly, with Julio Jones not playing. Alrighty, here we go. Matt Rule on Christian McCaffrey. Quote, at this point, I don't expect him to play. So we didn't think Christian McCaffrey was going to play this week. I really don't know if he's going to play for the rest of the season. There's really no reason to start this man. Get this man healthy for next season, because that's basically what all the Panthers were missing this season, Christian McCaffrey. If they had him consistently for the entire season, I think this Panthers team could have made a decent attempt at the at the end of the season, these last 4 weeks, they could have had the opportunity, in my opinion, if Christian McCaffrey was fully healthy, to really make a chance at the playoffs. I mean, to get that kind of last wild card spot. Yeah, absolutely. This Panthers offense, it's pretty good, folks. If you haven't watched it, which you probably haven't because they have 4 wins and nobody's talking about the Panthers, this Panthers team is pretty good. Next year, this is going to be a dark horse for the playoffs, absolutely, if everything stays healthy, if everybody stays healthy. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater's playing real good, and they don't even have Christian McCaffrey. They had this man for 2 games, and he left in the middle of the second game. So, I mean, they barely ever had this man. And when they did, they were looking fine. They were competing with the Chiefs with Christian McCaffrey. They put up 31 points against the Chiefs when they had Christian McCaffrey. So I'm a big fan of this Panthers team. I think they just have to sit Christian McCaffrey for the rest of the season. Starting him with like 3 games left with no chance at the playoffs, I don't really see the reason there. So maybe just to build a winning culture, but I think Matt Rule has already kind of started that winning culture without Christian McCaffrey. So I think they just need to take it real easy on him. He's pretty much, their franchise player. Do you put Teddy Bridgewater as their franchise player, or do you put it on Christian McCaffrey? I think we have to go Christian McCaffrey here, folks. So Panthers, big things coming. I don't expect Christian McCaffrey really to play for the rest of the season, folks. I don't think there's any point to it. Get this man healthy, ready for next season, because you guys can definitely make the playoffs. Alrighty, and then our final story, Ezekiel Elliott says it's, quote, important to play through calf injury for Cowboys teammates. Oh, it's important to play through a calf injury? How about you step up a little bit and be an actual leader and start running the ball and, scoring touchdowns and being that big explosive back now that you're the number 1 player? And it's funny how he comes out and says this like 7 weeks after this Cowboys team has already been in turmoil. Ezekiel Elliott, you've had your chance to be the leader, to be the captain, to really try to be the main kind of focus, the main energizer of this team. It's too late now, man. It's too late. You were fumbling. You were the reason why you've lost games. You're not a leader. You're nothing. Unfortunate. You're not even that good of a running back. I mean, this Cowboys team is truly awful, folks. It's almost worse than the Jets, folks, and that's wild because they have so much talent. I don't know what it is. They're almost as bad as the Jets, folks. So Ezekiel Elliott, it's a little too late to try and energize, this team and be that leader, to be the voice of, on the field. It's a little too late, Zeke, man. You've already ruined it. The season's gone. Nobody's buying in. You haven't bought in. You've never bought in. And you're supposed to be the guy. Dak's down. You got paid. Why are you not stepping up? Now you finally want to be the leader and be like, you know what? I'm gonna lead by example. I'm playing through my injuries, guys. Let's rally around me. It's too late, Zeke. Stop. What are we doing here? What are we doing? All right. Those are all the stories that we had today. I'm over Zeke. I'm over the Cowboys. All right. Alrighty. Without further ado, let's get into our official picks. We do let's get these lines refreshed. Actually, get these up to the date. We do 6 picks on Takes by Fans. We do 3 picks in 2 categories. Our first categories is our lock section. These will all hit. Bet whatever you want. These will all hit. There is no consequences of you betting because you won't lose. So bet 1,000. Bet all your life savings. It doesn't matter. They will hit. Free money, folks. This is basically free money. And then our 99% guarantee section. We feel very confident about these picks, but there is kind of one thing that we can kind of see possibly happening that is giving us a little bit of reserves. So, bet maybe half of your life savings, a quarter of your life savings. If you have 2 cars in the driveway, bet, maybe the cheaper one, only one. Because there is a possibility that something ruins the bet. So, let's see what we did last week. Whenever you want to see our picks, we post them daily on our website, takesbyfans.com. Go to the Daily Picks tab, and then find the date, and then that's all. That's all. Click on the date, and then you'll bring up the games. So last Sunday, here it is. 12-6. Our locks were Packers -8.5. That one hit. Fantastic. I think they won by like 10 or more. So fantastic there. Then we had the Seahawks -10. We were wrong about that one. I mean, this was one of the rare games that the Seahawks offense doesn't show up. So we were wrong about that one. And then we had Titans -5.5. All right, we were wrong about that one too, but who would have thought Baker Mayfield was going to throw 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half, folks? I mean, sometimes some things just happen, unfortunately. And then we had Colts -3.5. Bingo, bango. They win by 6. Perfect there. Dolphins -11.5. Boom, they win big. I mean, they held the Bengals to 7 points. Easy money there. And then we had Cardinals plus 2.5. We were riding Kyler Murray, but now we're 100% off of them. Unfortunate. And the Cardinals kind of get blown out a little bit. So we went 3 of 3, but we're looking to rebound this week, and we've got some great picks for you. So here we go. We are going to start with our locks in our first pick in our locks category. Folks, this is the best bet of the week. I'll say it right now. I said it on the show yesterday if you were watching during our live reaction of the lines. We said it yesterday. So the first bet in our locks category is going to be Raiders plus 3. Now, I understand Josh Jacobs is probably not going to play this game, but I don't think it's really going to matter. This Raiders team, they are a little bit up and down, but they're at home. They're fighting for a playoff spot. I mean, the Raiders were in this situation last season and blew it. I don't know if they're going to blow it back-to-back seasons, folks. They started, very good, and then they lost their last 6 games, I think, last season. They have a chance this season to make the playoffs, to kind of get back into rhythm, to make John Gruden look good as a head coach, only taking 1 year to really turn around a team and then get to the playoffs the second year. So I love the Raiders here. They're at home. They're getting points. I cannot trust Phillip Rivers. I know, this Colts team is supposed to be good and they've got this good defense, but they don't do anything in the second half of games, folks. I mean, they really get blown out in the second half. They really don't score any points. So if this Colts team isn't playing good in the first half, the game's going to be over right from there. So we get the Raiders. We get 3 points. Now, both of these teams are coming off of wins that they should not have won. The Colts, they won by 6, but Deshaun Watson was down on the 1 yard line, ready to score a touchdown and win that game. He fumbles. The Colts win. Raiders, we all know the Hail Mary, the blown call by the Jets defense that got the defensive coordinator fired. Raiders really shouldn't have won that game, but they did. So both of these teams are coming off of inflated wins. Raiders are at home, which is good for them. Yes, both these teams. This Colts team is so inflated, folks. They've got 8 wins. I don't know how they've got 8 wins. We really have to take like 3 wins off of their schedule. The first Titans meeting, the Green Bay game, and then the Texans game from yesterday. So take away 3 wins for them Colts, folks. They've got 5 wins. This is a 5-win team. Don't let them fool you. This is a 5-win Colts team. And the way that Phillip Rivers just plays, I hate it. I hate his style. I hate his trash talk. I mean, folks, if you ever go on Twitter, like on game day or the day after a game, you'll hear mic'd up of Phillip Rivers, and it's so annoying to hear this man talk trash. I like talking trash. I've got no problem with it. Be disrespectful. Be as disrespectful as you can. I've got no problem. But the way he does it, it's just so annoying. I really just cannot stand Phillip Rivers. I think he's lazy. I think he doesn't flourish in the big games, folks. This is why, he's in the same, he's in kind of, the same conversations as Brady and Ben Roethlisberger and Aaron Rodgers because of the longevity and kind of when they came out, but he's got no rings and no real playoff success. So he's one of the loser quarterbacks, of that conversation. So I'm really over this Colts team. I'm really just over Phillip Rivers. I've got no problem with the Colts. Everybody else, I think I do like the Colts besides, the quarterback, and that's the most important position. So with all that being said, we get the Raiders here fighting for a playoff spot at home. Derek Carr, kind of had, like a second chance. I mean, they shouldn't have won last week, but they did. I don't know if they kind of throw away this kind of second chance to really get to the playoffs. John Gruden, we get 3 points here. I get the better quarterback. I'll take Derek Carr over Phillip Rivers any day of the week, folks. I mean, Darren Waller, who's going to stop Darren Waller on this Colts team? I mean, the Titans put up like 40 points on them. The Green Bay Packers put up 30 points on them. I mean, the Raiders can drop points, and this Colts team gives up a lot of points. This Colts defense is not good, folks. I don't know. We've all been hearing that they're good, but I don't know why we're hearing that. This Colts defense is not good, folks. It's not. So Raiders plus 3, I absolutely love it, folks. I absolutely love it. Alrighty, our second pick in our lock section. I mean, folks, we just mentioned it at the top of the show. Steelers are getting their center and their running back. Come on. This defense is going to eat Josh Allen alive. Now, this is interesting. This line has just dropped. I refreshed this right at, the start of the show, basically, right before we went live, I should say. And the Steelers were at plus 2. Now it's dropped to Steelers plus 1.5. And we're still going to take it. We're getting Steelers in any type of points. That's fine with me. This Steelers defense is going to obliterate Josh Allen, folks. I don't have any problem giving Josh Allen credit when his credit is due, but we're gonna pull back on giving Josh Allen too much credit for his performance last week against the 49ers. That defense, I don't know what the hell they were doing. They were not covering. If their main objective was trying to cover the receivers, I don't know what they were doing out there. I don't know what they were game planning for. I don't know what they practiced, but in the game, it looked so atrocious. Now, I will give Josh Allen credit for making the right reads and delivering wide open balls. I'll give him that. And he didn't turn the ball over. No, he did. He did have one fumble, I believe, but we digress. I will give them all that. But this Steelers defense is good, folks. This is a good defense. They fly around the ball. Let's not really, bear too much weight on these last two games for the Steelers. They've been pushed back. They've been postponed. They think they're playing this day. They're playing on this day at a wonky time where no other team has played. So can we all settle down a little bit on what these Steelers have been showing these last 2 weeks? They were still winning games besides last week and still being competitive in games. And now the Steelers finally have a normal game. Sunday Night Football, primetime TV. They're on the road, but they're in Buffalo. The Steelers are used to not good weather, so this isn't going to be, a huge road game for the Steelers. They're at home. They play outdoors too. So in Pittsburgh, the weather's not good there anyway. Or as well. So I get Big Ben coming off of a bad loss. Everybody was dropping balls. I can guarantee you nobody will drop a ball in this game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for that alone, for Big Ben to have a perfect completion percentage, that should just be enough for you to bet this game Steelers straight up just by that. But the Steelers defense will get it done. Josh Allen, his head's a little big. His arms feeling a little bit bigger. Maybe he takes a couple of deep shots, a couple of risky throws. When we watch Josh Allen, folks, even Bills fans, I don't think they'll deny this either. When Josh Allen's playing and he's trying to extend plays, it looks real bad, and he's always this close away from a turnover. So even when he's playing flawless, everybody still kind of closes their eyes a couple of times throughout the game when Josh Allen's passing. Bills fans, do not lie to me. I can guarantee you guys close your eyes at least twice during games because you're like, oh my God, Josh Allen just threw that. Why did he throw that? Was it picked? Oh, it wasn't picked, thank God. And then they go to Twitter and be like, Josh Allen's the best passer of all time. Folks, I see it on a daily basis. I'm on Twitter, folks. I'm on Twitter. All right, so we got Steelers plus 1.5. I absolutely love it. Josh Allen, I think he takes a little bit of step back. This Steelers defense is amazing. They're the number one defense in the league, folks. So if Josh Allen goes and has a great performance, I will have no problem coming on here on Monday saying that Josh Allen, he's got my respect a little bit more. So love the Steelers here this week. We'll take them plus 1.5. Buy it up to 3 if you want to be real safe, or just take it whatever you get it, or just play it like a true radical and go to Steelers money line and get that plus 108 odds. Absolutely fantastic. But we'll take the 1.5 just for that extra little insurance. All right, and then our final pick in our locks category. Folks, we got to go this game. We have to take this game. Saints -7 over the Eagles. Eagles starting a new quarterback. We just saw their starting tackle. Jason Peters is not starting, so the offensive line isn't going to be fully protecting Jalen Hurts with his first start. So that alone, folks, the one silver lining that this the one green flag, I should say, that this Eagles team has is that they're playing at home. That's pretty much their only green flag. But everything other than that, I do kind of like this Eagles defense. I think they do step up, pretty decently during the game. So I will give the Eagles that. But their offense, I don't know how much of a turnaround Jalen Hurts is going to be from Carson Wentz on his first game. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the road, week 16, week 17, his last start. Maybe he plays real well. But I don't know how he's going to perform in his first game. I wasn't a big fan of his when he was in college. On Saturday, we are going to kind of do an in-depth film, our kind of Saturday showcase on Jalen Hurts in college and all that. So tune in tomorrow at noon Eastern. We'll look at that. But we're not going to trust Jalen Hurts here. Carson Wentz, his arm wasn't the problem. He was still kind of airing out the throws. It was just he was turning it over at the wrong situations, and they kind of get conservative a little bit offensively. So I'm not going to I'm not going to buy this Eagles offense too much. And we look at who they're facing, the Saints. I mean, Taysom Hill's been absolutely destroying teams, folks. I mean, they faced the Falcons twice with Taysom Hill, and the Falcons really couldn't stop him either time. I mean, that's pretty good. When you have tape on somebody and you watch them in real life and you still can't stop them a second time, I don't know how well this Eagles team is going to do against them. His arm's still good. He's throwing to his actual wide receivers. He'll kill him with the legs. He is a true dual threat here. So we're going to take the Saints here. Undefeated with backup quarterbacks these last 2 years. Everybody steps up when Drew Brees is not playing, especially the quarterbacks. I mean, folks, if you're looking at the Saints last year, Drew Brees is probably the worst starting quarterback that the Saints have had. I think I take Teddy Bridgewater over Drew Brees, and I think I take Taysom Hill over Drew Brees as well. I mean, these backup quarterbacks for the Saints have been absolutely killing it when they had their opportunity to step up, and I'm going to continue on the Saints here. We'll swallow the 7. Taysom Hill, I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be able to keep up pace with Taysom Hill. And this Saints defense at the end of seasons really step up. This Saints defense, folks, they have a ton of great names and great pieces defensively. They really kind of do start stepping up at the back half of the seasons. We've seen it the last 2 years with this Saints team. So I love the Saints here. They close out. This possibly may be Taysom Hill's last start as well. So look for him to go out with a bang. A lot of plays for him. Sean Payton usually kind of gives the players their due when their time is up. Teddy Bridgewater's last game, Taysom Hill's last game, he'll give Taysom Hill a great chance to really showcase what he can do. Just in case if the Saints don't bring him back, Sean Payton, he will give Taysom Hill, his opportunity to go, hey, kid, go out and play, man. This is your game. This is your team. Go out and make the plays. Show this league what you can do. And I love the Saints here, so we'll take the Saints -7. Alrighty, so these are going to be our locks for this week. We've got the Raiders +3, the Steelers +1.5, and the Saints -7. The odds are +600. That is fantastic. You put $500 on this game, you're walking away with $3,500, folks. That's truly amazing. And I would honestly say with these picks, bump this up to 1,000, and now you're walking away with $7,000. You put $1,000 on this game, on this 3-team parlay, you're walking away with $7,000, folks. Holy cow. Then you come back next week with that $7,000 and you put it on another 3-teamer. These are approximate odds, folks. Next week, you take your $7,000 winning from this week. You put it next week $7,000 on a 3-teamer. Now you're up $49,000. You just won $50,000 in 2 weeks, folks. How easy is that? $1,000 this week, $7,000 next week, $50,000 in your pocket just by listening to some guy on the internet. Hey, I'll take that. All right, so those are our locks. All right, let's go to our 99% guarantees. We still feel very, very confident on these picks. There is just one thing that we can see going wrong that ruins the bet. So without further ado, let's go to our first pick in our 99% guarantee section. And it's going to be, I was this close to putting it into the lock section, but there was so many other better games that I liked more. So we had to squeeze this one down into kind of our fourth best pick, which is in our 99% category. So we're going to go Bucks -6.5. This is Tom Brady off of a bye. Now, they lost the game before the bye, so they had to go an entire week on that loss. Tom Brady's going to be he's going to be money. At least 4 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Maybe 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, or even 4 touchdowns, no picks, most likely. He's coming off of a bye. This Vikings team, what do? They run the ball well. What did the Bucks do good defensively? They stop the run. They're not good at stopping the pass. But Kirk Cousins can only do good passing the ball when the run game is set up first. That's why the Vikings were trashed before the bye, and then after the bye, they really started to turn it around because they stuck with the running game more to help out the passing game and help out Kirk Cousins. So if the Bucs stop the run, Kirk Cousins is not going to do anything this game. He's going to throw multiple interceptions. I mean, folks, even when the running game is good, these last 2 weeks, Kirk Cousins has fumbled, or they fumbled on the 1-yard line. They fumbled for a touchdown. So even when everything is going right for this Vikings team, something goes wrong offensively that kind of ruins them for the game. Made the game a lot closer against the Panthers last week. And then what did the Vikings do this week? I'm blanking. What did they do this week? 1 second. Trying to remember. Here we go. Vikings. Yeah, they was close to the Jags that went into overtime. That's right. Mike Lennon. They kind of got bailed out in overtime with the Mike Lennon interception. So once again, that fumble by the Vikings on the 1 yard line against the Jags made it so the Jags had an extra possession to go into overtime with. If the Bucs have that, they're gonna take that opportunity and they're gonna win this game by a ton of points. So even with the Vikings, everything's going good. They still fumble the ball. They're on the road. Bucs off of a bye. Tom Brady wants to go out and prove. I mean, Tom Brady was just able to watch Bill Belichick's offense flounder this week. So yes, Tom Brady's going to be sitting back, or he was sitting back on his couch watching Bill Belichick flounder this week, and now he's going to go out and absolutely rip this ball. They'll put up so many points. They're going to win probably by 14, folks. I would bet this one all the way up to 14. Let's see what these alternative line odds are. If we get Bucs minus 13.5, just so you don't catch the 14 hook. So you're looking at Bucs minus 13.5 is plus 210, folks. That's doubling your money. You put $500 on that, you win $1,500, $1,000 profit. I mean, folks, that's fantastic as well. I would trust that. I don't think this Vikings team is going to do anything offensively against the Bucs, and this is Tom Brady off of a bye. I mean, we've all heard the stories of Bruce Arians calling out Tom Brady and all of that. We know all of that. So Tom Brady off of a bye with all those weapons. I know there's a story that Mike Evans might not play, but still, folks, they're deep. They're deep. They don't need Mike Evans. And kind of Mike Evans not playing may actually help the Bucs a little bit, kind of like Atlanta without Julio Jones helps their offense a little bit as well. So we love the Bucs here off of a bye. We only have to swallow 6.5, and we don't catch that 7 hook. I'm all about it. Bucs at home, off of a bye, off of a loss. Tom Brady looking to really just sling it around. Vikings having to rely on their run game. Bucs defense is good, stopping the run. I think it all lines up this week, folks. This is a great pick here. Bucs minus 6.5. Alrighty, and let's move on. Here we go. Our second pick in our 99% guarantee category is going to be Texans minus 1. Houston really played a lot better than I thought they would last week, losing their top 2 wide receivers, or 2 of their top 4 wide receivers, and then they had 2 other wide receivers step up in their place and be their top 2 wide receivers last week. Absolutely fantastic. Deshaun Watson fumbled the ball. Really should have won the game last week. Another positive on them. Deshaun Watson being angry that he lost his team the game will come out firing this week. Yes, I believe that. The Bears, the defense is going to completely give up on this offense, folks. Last week was the straw that is finally breaking the Bears back. We saw it last season, folks. The Bears were good. They struggle at the back half of the season because the offense sputters and the defense quits. The defense will quit this week. There's 4 games left. They can't make the playoffs. It is truly over. The Bears were up 10 with 4 minutes left. If that is not the final straw that breaks this defense back, I don't know what it's gonna take. So this Bears team with Deshaun Watson, the Bears defense is not going to be able to stop this Texans team. I mean, the Bears couldn't even stop the Packers a couple weeks ago, and now they couldn't even stop the Lions last week. So they're just going to completely cave in. They know that whatever they do, Mitch Trubisky is going to, throw away all their progress, lose them the game. It doesn't matter. They can put up 30 points. They'll still lose. I mean, folks, the Bears' problem was they weren't putting up enough points. Last week they put up 30 and still lost and blew a lead because Mitch Trubisky fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball himself. So we can't trust the Bears' offense anymore, or we never could. And now we can't trust the Bears' defense because they're looking at the offense like, can y'all do something for us, please? Something. We started 5-1, and look at where we are now. Absolutely garbage. So the Bears defense officially gives up this week. Texans coming off of a bad loss. They've got a bad taste in their mouth. Look for them to bounce back. That's what Deshaun Watson does, man. This man bounces back. Mitch Trubisky, he bounces. He don't come back, though. We'll take that one. Texans minus 1. I love that line. Damn, that was good. I'm going to use that again. All right. Let's go to our last pick in our 99% guarantee section. All right. Our last pick here. We're going to go, and this may be a little wild, folks. This may be a little wild, but we are going to go Washington plus 3.5. Now, I absolutely love what this Washington team is doing internally. Ron Rivera is getting everybody to buy in. Our star running back went down first quarter against an undefeated team. No worries. We'll stick with the running game. No worries. And we'll still win it. Hey, and no Antonio Gibson, no problem. Everybody buys into Ron Rivera. I absolutely love it. This 49ers team, they're a little kind of, I think everybody's thinking highly of them because they beat the Rams a couple of weeks ago. But last week was truly what the 49ers are. We have Richard Sherman coming out this week and saying he's not going to come back to the 49ers this season. There's a quote that was like him basically saying, I don't think they're going to re-sign me, so I'm not coming back. That's basically what he said, and I'm like, there's still games to be played, and this man's already bailing on the squad, so you can't count on this 49ers defense. We saw what kind of effort they put up against the Bills. They made Josh Allen look like a Super Bowl MVP caliber quarterback, folks. It was kind of wild to watch. So can't trust this 49ers defense anymore. They're not even at home this game, folks. They're at the Cardinal Stadium. Because they can't even go home. They can't play in Santa Clara. Or Santa Clarita, whatever it is. They can't play at their home stadium for another week, so they still have to wait. They're not at home. We saw what they did against the Bills last week. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like Washington this week because they went and beat an undefeated Steelers team. I liked how they competed, and I liked how their defense played. And I don't think Nick Mullins is going to be able to do anything with Chase Young breathing down his back. I mean, folks, that man is an absolute game wrecker. We saw Chase Young literally stop somebody on the 1 yard line on 4th and 1, coming off an edge and literally dragging this man out of midair. This man is good. So Nick Mullins over who? Nobody. We're not trusting Nick Mullins. Big Ben didn't have any success passing. I'm not trusting Nick Mullins. The 49ers really beefed the games last week against the Bills. Can't trust them. So Washington, everything's going right. Everybody buys in. Whereas the 49ers, everybody's kind of looking for an out. Richard Sherman wants out. That's a huge piece. So other pieces are going to probably be following suit. If Richard Sherman's not giving 100%, I'm not giving 100% either. Their loss against the Rams really just kind of dinged their chances at the playoffs. Washington still has a chance at the playoffs, still chance at the division. We're getting 3.5. This Washington team, they keep the games close. Even with Dwayne Haskins, they were keeping games close. So we'll take Washington plus 3.5. Don't know if they win, but we get 3.5. Love the over 3 hook. Love it, love it, love it. Not putting too much stake in Washington beating the Steelers. I don't even really like Alex Smith as a quarterback. I mean, yes, the story's fine, folks. I love the story. It's a great comeback story. We all should be praising Alex Smith, but I really don't even like watching him. I don't think he has it. I don't think he can be a starting quarterback for an entire 16-game season and go and try and make a playoff run and be good. Maybe a first-round exit. That's kind of his ceiling, in my opinion. First-round exit, kind of an Andy Dalton type. And I don't want to knock the man, and I don't want to disrespect the man, but that's kind of what I see. So we get Washington plus 3.5 points. I think it's absolutely fantastic, folks. So we'll take that. That will round out our 99% guarantees. So we've got Bucks minus 6.5, Texans minus 1, and Washington plus 3.5. I absolutely love all these. The odds are plus 564. You put 500 on this, you're looking at $3,300. Absolutely fantastic as well. Yeah. So those are our picks. One more time to recap. Our locks are Raiders plus 3, Steelers plus 2, Saints minus 7, and our 99% guarantees are Bucks minus 6.5, Texans minus 1, and Washington plus 3.5. All right, I forgot to do our game breakdown of last night's game. I totally forgot. Forgot to do this at the beginning of the show. So we'll do this very quickly. Thursday Night Football yesterday. Usually do that at the top of the show. Can't believe I forgot. It just completely slipped my mind. So let's get this up here. I mean, this was no surprise to us, folks. We called this on the show. We took the Rams minus 5. Absolutely perfect. They won by 19, so we hit our bet. Fantastic. I mean, we knew that this Patriots team cannot move the ball offensively. We know this, and they put up 3 points. We know this. We called this one absolutely perfect. So here we go. Let's start with Cam Newton. We'll go through this quickly, folks. We're not going to spend too much time on this because there was nothing to talk about with the Patriots. So Cam Newton, 9 of 16 for 119 yards, no touchdown and a pick. Classic classic Cam Newton passing stats, right? I mean, he's doing exactly what we know he does on a game-to-game basis. Let's see where this interception came. It was a pick six. I mean, the defense for the Rams gave up or scored more points than the Patriots did. Cam Newton gave up more points single-handedly than he put up. I mean, you can say whatever you want. This offense is not good. Throwing pick sixes. Come on, Cam. Get better, man. Get better. He's really has not gotten better. I wanted to believe in Cam Newton, but we have to sell all of our stock on Cam Newton. He's not getting better. You're learning under Bill Belichick. Tom Brady, 20 straight years of greatness, and Cam Newton can't even string together one 8-8 season when he's already made it to the Super Bowl, already won an MVP. You can't elevate your play for one season to try and get yourself a new contract to play next season, because you're probably not playing anymore, folks. You'll get a backup job like Teddy Bridgewater or like Jameis Winston, and you probably won't ever play again starting unless the starter goes down. So Cam, man, this was your chance, but you blow it. Unfortunate. They do put in Jarrett Stidham. This wasn't because this was just because the Patriots they lost. They lost. I mean, they lost this game in the first quarter. They lost when he threw the pick six. Basically, they kind of lost on the first drive when the Rams went down and scored a touchdown, because we know that the Patriots were not putting up more than 10 points. That's exactly what we said. We did not expect the Patriots to put up more than 10 points. They didn't even get close to there. So Jarrett Stidham comes in the fourth quarter, and he doesn't do anything either. So, and Bill Belichick has already said that Cam Newton's starting next week. So, I mean, you have to finish out with Cam Newton, folks. I mean, there's no reason to go to Jarrett Stidham for the rest of the season. You're not playing Cam Newton next year. You're not playing Jarrett Stidham next year. So, what's the difference? All right, the running game. Damian Harris was the leading rusher for the Patriots, 11 carries, 50 yards. Sony Michel did nothing, 7 carries, 22 yards. N'Keal Harry, I mean, Cam Newton passed for 119 yards, so there's no explosive receivers. N'Keal Harry was the leading receiver for 49 yards, 3 receptions, so nothing great there. Now let's look at this Rams offense. Jared Goff, 16 of 25 for only 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So a little bit of dink and dunk by the Rams offense, because this is like an above average Patriots defense. So yes, this Rams offense is good, but they definitely weren't as good as they usually are because they're facing a good defense. So they were still able to squeak out some points here. I mean, we see them put up 17 points in the first quarter, and that was really it. They put up 7 points in the third quarter, and that was really it. So, I mean, they weren't scoring the ball too much. In the fourth quarter, the game was pretty much over, so no team was trying to score too much. So, that's really how this game fell. This interception by Jared Goff, he gets bailed out. I mean, he throws a pick, and then the Patriots are driving, and then Cam Newton throws the pick six. So, I mean, he's throwing away opportunities to put up points. I mean, folks, this Patriots team started on the Chargers 32, and they got it all the way down to the Chargers 19-yard line, and he throws the pick six. Cam Newton sucks. This Patriots offense is so atrocious they can't do anything. So, that was basically the game last night, exactly how we called it. We didn't think that this Rams offense was going to do too much because this Patriots defense is good, but we also knew that this Patriots offense was not going to do anything because this Rams defense was good. So we swallowed the points, the -5, and we hit on our bets. So fantastic. So that was Thursday Night Football there. So our last thing that we want to do here today on the show is do the ESPN playoff machine. And folks, I highly recommend, if you've never done this before, you can get lost spending like an hour just playing around with this thing. So this is how it works. It tells you who's in the playoffs right now with everything that's happened up to basically last night. They've already counted the Rams win over the Patriots last night. So basically what you do, tells you who's in the playoffs right now, and then you go around and start clicking winners of games, and it starts to move and change. All right, now that the Dolphins won this week, now they move up this week, and then the Steelers are out because the Dolphins win. So all of that, it tells you who's in the playoffs based on the outcomes that you predict. So what we're going to do here to close out the show, we're just going to go and pick the winners of every matchup and then see how the playoffs change based on what we think is going to happen and kind of get the week 15 playoff picture. Now, you can go and guess games for the rest of the season, but we're just going to focus on this week to week. We'll do this for the next 4 weeks until the end of the season. We'll do this on Fridays, so This is going to be a new segment for the next couple weeks here. So this is the current playoff picture in the AFC and NFC. So we've got in the AFC, the Steelers are the number 1 seed at 11-1, fantastic. Chiefs are the number 2 seed at 11-1 as well. Bills are the 3rd seed at 9-3. Titans are the 4th seed at 8-4. Browns are the 5th seed at 9-3. Dolphins are the 6th seed at 8-4, and the Colts are the 7th seed at 8-4 as well. Now we move over to the NFC side. Saints are that number 1 seed at 10-2. Green Bay's number 2 at 9-3. Rams are 3 at 9-4. Giants are the 4th seed because they've got the division win at 5-7. 5th seed is Seattle at 8-4. 6th seed is Tampa Bay at 7-5, and the 7th seed in the NFC is Minnesota at 6-6. Wow, I did not know that. So Minnesota is the last seed in the NFC. So now let's go through all these games. We'll talk about them briefly and kind of choose our winners, and then we'll see how this kind of playoff picture is going to kind of be at the end of Week 14, according to us. So we'll start here. Chiefs at Dolphins, and as much as I want to say the Dolphins can be competitive in this game, I don't know if they can actually win this game. It should be an entertaining game to watch, and I'm still going to be rooting for the Dolphins, but this is the Chiefs we're talking about, folks. We're talking about Andy Reid, defending Super Bowl champions, and this Dolphins defense is good, and I think that this Dolphins defense is going to keep the Chiefs offense in check a little bit. I do like the Dolphins plus 7.5, but when I'm not getting the 7.5 points, folks, I think we're going to choose the Chiefs here. So let's predict that the Chiefs win it. So just based off of that one win, the Dolphins fall from the 6th seed to the 7th seed, just based on that. But we have other games to go, so it could rebalance out. So let's continue on here. Cowboys and Bengals, and folks, I don't even know who the heck to choose in this game for the winner. I can't even trust Mike McCarthy, folks, to win a game straight up against a struggling Bengals team. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to say the Cowboys win it. They're clearly the better, on paper, they're clearly the better roster. Now, the Bengals have better coaches by a mile, but on paper, we're going to say the Cowboys get back on track. They're still in this division, so we are going to say that the Cowboys get the win here, and we'll see how this kind of affects the playoff matchups, and it doesn't affect anything with the Giants. So, we know the Cowboys are about 2 games out from that first place, so this win right here is not doing anything, immediately in the playoffs, but, we don't expect that anyway. Alrighty, then we got Titans and Jags, and we're going to call Titans with the winner here, and that doesn't move anything with the playoff seeding anyway. They still stay at that 4th seed. They're still division leaders, and we'll get to the Colts and what they get to. But, yeah, the Titans over Jags, I mean, Mike Lennon's not looking good. He's looking decent. I'll give him that. They're moving the ball down the field. They're taking their shots down the field. They're not dinking and dunking, which is always a good sign. But at the end of the day, he can't get it done. He threw an interception in overtime. I mean, it was good at the end of the 4th quarter when he was able to drive down and score a touchdown, and I'll give him that. But then you go and throw an interception in the overtime when you didn't even start with the ball. You were gifted a second chance. You were actually gifted a chance because touchdown ends it. You were gifted a chance in the playoff in overtime, and you blow it by throwing an interception. So can't trust Mike Lennon. Titans coming off of a huge loss against the Browns. I think they step up. So we say the Titans win, and it doesn't affect their movings. So we'll see how, if any other wins or losses kind of change their seeding around a little bit. All right, then we got Cardinals and Giants, and this is tough. This is tough. I mean, we can't trust the Cardinals, and what the Giants just did last week, I'm all in on them. I think they get Daniel Jones back this week. We'll say that the Giants win over the Cardinals. Can't trust this Cardinals offense anymore, folks. I mean, if they go to DeAndre Hopkins 17 times a game and he catches 13 out of those 17 passes for like 130 yards, then they'll win. But, I mean, that's all they go to. They only use DeAndre Hopkins, and that's why they've been stuttering. That's why they're 6-6. That's why they had a good explosive start, and then everyone's like, oh, they just go to DeAndre Hopkins. Lock this man up. They can't score anyway. So Giants, they get Daniel Jones back. I think they get a nice little momentum back. They're at home. The defense held Russell Wilson to 10 points. Absolutely fantastic. So Giants get the win, and the only thing that the Giants are really going to change, the only thing that's going to change in the NFC East is the winner. So I'm just going to say this, the winner of the NFC East is going to be locked into the 4th seed. The record's not going to be good enough to jump to the 3rd seed or 2nd seed. They're not going to fall to the 5th, 6th, or 7th because they're division winner. So the winner of the NFC East will always be locked in that 4th seed because of how bad their record is. So Giants are still sticking at the 4th seed. There's no room to move, folks. There's no room for the Giants to move. They are locked in. Home game week 1, but that's pretty much it in the playoffs. All right, let's continue on here. Texans and Bears, and we are going to call this one for the Texans. This is one of our moneymakers, and this one does not affect anything either. Their record is not that good. Where are the Texans at? We just called it. So the Texans, where are they? We just called the game. They should be highlighted. Tennessee, Houston, right here. They're 4-8. Yeah, did that win? Yeah, so Texans will be 4-8. They're pretty much, they can't make the playoffs really at all. So this game is kind of nothing's up for grabs. This is kind of just a good kind of morale win for either of these teams, Texans or Bears. But we're going to go Texans, and as we see, it does not change anything in the playoff predictor. Playoff machine, my bad, playoff machine. All right, here we go. Broncos and Panthers, and this one's tough to call. Luckily for us, none of these teams really have any chance to make the playoffs. The Broncos are 4-8, so 5-8. 5 wins. That's not getting anything done. And then the Panthers, they've got 4 wins as well. So we are gonna call this one Panthers. I like the Panthers at home and Drew Lock on the road. Drew Lock at home's okay. Drew Lock on the road is not that good. So we're going to call it Panthers, and this game means nothing in the grand scheme of the playoff picture. Both these teams have no chance of making it, so the outcome of this game is not going to affect anything. All right, now we go to Vikings and the Bucks, and this one should finally, we should get some movement here with this winner. So we're going to call it Bucks. We like the Bucks. It's one of our picks. We'll swallow the 6.5. Love the Bucks all day. And with that win, they improved to 8-5, but still keep that 6th seed. Still have not jumped over Seattle for that 5th seed just quite yet. We'll get to Seattle in our prediction for the game and see if their win or loss affects the Bucks. But so far, just the Bucks winning is not changing anything this week, folks. Now, if the Vikings win, then they jump up to the 6th seed. So the Vikings do have a lot to play for this week, and that could, come into play, but I'm not gonna say that because I honestly, in that one thing of if the Vikings win, they can move up to the 6th seed, but what they have and what they do against this Bucks team, the Bucks can stop it all day. So still like the Bucks here, even though that the Vikings have a chance to swap kind of seeding position with the Bucks if they get the win, but I don't think they get the win. Alrighty, Colts, Raiders, and this one could have a major outcome as well, and we like the Raiders this week, folks. It's one of our picks as well, Raiders +3, and I think they can win out. I think they kind of do win out. So we're going to call this one Raiders win straight up. Let's see what this does. And wow, if the Raiders win, they switch spots in that 6th seed with the Colts. So this is a huge game for Vegas. John Gruden knows that they're at home. This Colts team isn't any better than this Raiders team. This Colts team is really a 5-win team in my opinion. So Raiders, a huge game here. The Raiders win, they take that 6th seed. And if the Colts win, they stay with the 6th seed. So we're going to call it Raiders at 6. Now, if the Dolphins win, let's just say the Dolphins win, then they go up to that 6th seed, but we have them losing, so they fall to the 7th, and then the winner of that Vegas Colts game jumps up to the 6th seed because we have the Dolphins losing. All right, let's keep on going here. Seattle and Jets, and this is a no-brainer, folks. Do we even need to say anything on this one? No? Okay, Seattle wins it. And Seattle, with this win, stays at the 5th seed, and that's really it. No movement there. All right, Falcons, Chargers. This is tough. Shouldn't affect any playoff seeding. This Atlanta team, I believe, has no chance of making the playoffs. Let's see where they're at. Yeah, they're 4-8. They've got no chance. And this Chargers team, do they have 3 wins? I think they're 3 wins, or do they got 4? They have 3 wins. They're 3-9. So winner of this game is not going to affect anything in the playoffs. So we'll call this one Falcons. I like the Falcons here. I'll go them straight up. Cannot trust Anthony Lynn with any points, folks. So if they get a lead, it's gone. If they don't get a lead, then you lose. I mean, it's as simple as that. So let's move on. Saints Eagles. This one could have some implications, but we have the Saints winning. So we'll have the Saints winning, and then they still stay at the number 1 seed since they won. We'll come back to the Saints game once we're done with the other games to see, if they lose, if it changes any. But we'll get here in a second. We have to finish the other NFC games first. Already Green Bay and Lions, and folks, obviously Green Bay. I mean, yes, Detroit won last week, but they really shouldn't have. And all the interim head coaches, they won their first game, lose their second game. We've got the Lions losing this game as well. Aaron Rodgers knows he has to keep up pace with New Orleans. They're only a game back, folks. Green Bay's 9-3. Or no, they're 2 games, well, kind of 2 games back. Saints with this win, they go to 11. So going into this week, Green Bay is Green Bay's at 9-3, and the Saints are at 10-2. So Green Bay knows they're only a 1 game back. They have to keep up pace. This is a must-win for the Green Bay Packers. They want that home field advantage, folks. I can guarantee you. So we'll have the Green Bay Packers winning. All right, Washington and 49ers. We'll have Washington winning. Washington can keep up pace in the NFC East. So this is going to be a huge game for Washington to try and keep pace with Washington. And here it is, folks. Wow, this is interesting. Holy cow. Wow. With that being said, if Washington wins, Arizona sneaks into that 7th seed and knocks out the Vikings. This is huge, folks. This is huge. So a Washington win, even though the Cardinals lose to the Giants this week, if Washington wins, then the Cardinals still squeak into that 7th seed. So, folks, other games help out other teams and for the playoffs. So this is good information we're getting here. All right, 2 more games, and then we can kind of, play around with it just a little bit. Steelers and Bills. We're going to say this is tough because really either of these teams can really win. These are both good teams. We're going to go Steelers, and then, once we finish the last game, we can go around and kind of, see what happens with the Bills win. So the Steelers win. They stay at that number 1 seed. The Chiefs go to 2, and the Bills fall all the way to 4. The Chiefs stay at 2, Titans go from 4 to 3, and the Bills go from 3 to 4. And then the Ravens and Browns, we're going to call this one for the Ravens. We like the Ravens this week, and a win does not change anything there for the Ravens. So, with how we think this week's going to shake out, at the end of the week, Pittsburgh is going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC East. Chiefs are going to be 2, Titans are 3, Bills are 4, Browns at 5, Raiders at 6, and Dolphins at 7 for the AFC. And on the NFC side, we've got Saints at 1, Packers at 2, Rams at 3, Giants at 4, Seahawks at 5, Bucks at 6, and Arizona at 7, even though they lose this week. How crazy is that? Now, there are a couple of games that could go either way, so let's see how these kind of outcomes affect the overall seeding. Now, this is what I think is going to happen. Now, let's see what happens if we are not right. So, the first game let's switch on is Cardinals and Giants. Cardinals can definitely upset the Giants this week if they bounce back good. I don't think they will, but let's see what happens if the Cardinals do upset the Giants this week. Right now at this spot, Cardinals are at 7 and Giants are at 4. So with the Cardinals win, Washington now moves up to that 4th seed because they won against the 49ers. Now they are new division leaders, and the Cardinals still stay at number 7. So win or lose, the Cardinals can still get at that number 7 seed. We'll reset it back to what we think is going to happen, and let's go to another matchup here. Let's go Vikings, Bucks. I think we already know what happens if Vikings get the upset, but let's see what happens. Vikings upset the Bucks this week. And now, okay, so Vikings, if the Vikings win this week, they go to the number 6 seed, and Tampa Bay falls to number 7, and Arizona gets pushed out. So Arizona is hoping hoping for a Bucs win, because regardless if Arizona wins or loses, they'll pretty much get a spot in that 7th seed if everything kind of shakes out how we think it is going to. Now, there could be situations, if we play around, with, in an hour. This is what I mean, if you play around with an hour on this, you'll get so many different outcomes. That's why it's so fun just to play around with this. I highly recommend it. It's on ESPN. It's called the Playoff Machine. Real easy to find. Just Google ESPN Playoff Machine. It's the first link right there. I'm on this one at least an hour a day, folks. It's truly fun to play around with. So let's continue on. Colts Raiders. Now, the Colts can definitely win the game. I'm not saying that they have no chance of winning. So let's see what happens if the Colts upset the Raiders this week. Colts go to the 6th seed, and the Dolphins are still at number 7. All right. Let's see what happens. What happens if the Jets win this week? If the Jets upset the Seahawks, will it affect anything? Let's see. No. So even if the Seahawks lose, they're still going to be locked into that number 5th seed going into Week 15. Jets win or lose, it doesn't matter. Let's go here with the Saints and Eagles. This could be a little interesting as well. So let's see if Jalen Hurts pulls it off. They get the win, upset the Saints. Let's see how this playoff picture kind of differs with a Saints loss this week. Wow, okay, so if the Eagles win and the Giants or in the Green Bay Packers win, Green Bay goes up to that number 1 seed. Aaron Rodgers knows this, folks. That's why he knows he has to kind of win out to keep pace to try and get to that number 1 seed. Aaron Rodgers last season should have had that number 1 seed. They would have went to the Super Bowl if they did, folks. They didn't. They know that they need to make that kind of rewrite that kind of mistake from last season, and they'll be Super Bowl champions this season or get to the Super Bowl. So if the Saints lose it, the Packers have all the chance in the world to get that number 1 seed this week. That's huge to watch out for. Alrighty, let's go. What happens if the 49ers win over Washington? I don't think anything too much will happen. Oh, no. Okay, stuff does happen. Now, if Washington loses to San Francisco, Arizona gets knocked out of that 7th seed. So Arizona is truly rooting for a Washington win here to get that number 7 seed, win or lose for the Cardinals. So that's huge. That is truly huge there. The last 2 games we'll play around with is Steelers, Bills, and Ravens, Browns. See how much that shakes up. So we'll start here at Steelers, Bills. Let's see what happens if the Bills beat the Steelers this week. Ooh, a lot of shakeup here. Chiefs go up to the number 1 seed, Steelers fall to the 2 seed, and Bills go to the 3rd seed. So that's huge. If the Bills can get the win, the Steelers fall out from that top seed. That's huge. There's only 1 first-round bye, folks, and then so you get the first-round bye and you get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That is huge, folks. Everybody is clamoring for that number 1 spot. And I really truthfully think that's the best kind of decision the NFL has made in a long time. Add another wild card, take away a home field advantage or a home first round bye. I really love this kind of new playoff format, folks. I truly do. All right, and then the last game. Let's go Ravens and Browns. Let's see what happens if the Browns beat the Ravens this week. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. So if the Ravens win, they're just kind of improving their position going into week 15, 16, 17. If they lose, everything still stays the same, but, they're making it harder for themselves to get to the playoffs. So if everything kind of goes our way, we think this is how the playoff picture is going to look going into week 15. This is what we've got, folks. We've already said it. We're not going to say it again. This is the playoff machine. Absolutely love it. So this is what we think the playoff picture is going to look like going into Week 15, folks. Here it is. Well done to the Dolphins holding on to that 7th seed. Well done to Arizona getting into that 7th seed somehow. I don't know how that works. If you don't win, but you still can get in, it's all about that algorithm, folks. It's all about that math and algorithm. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow with our Saturday showcase, noon Eastern, still here at twitch.tv/takesbyfans. We're going to be looking at Jalen Hurts. We'll go a little college. We'll look again. We already looked at him on Wednesday, but we'll probably look at him maybe a little bit more from his first game action. And yeah, that'll probably be it. So join us on Saturday. We'll be back here. We're live every day, folks. Twitch.tv/takesbyfans. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.